Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing Nidavellir from Hatchet Board Games. This is a game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about 45 minutes. Nidavellir is primarily a set collection game, bidding set collection game, which are not typically my preferred style of game, but this is a game that I'm really interested in for 2 reasons. 1, it's dwarves, and I like dwarves, and 2 is the designer, Serge Leget, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who also designed Mare Nostrum, which is kind of this really big civilization building war game that I really enjoy. So I have really high hopes for this one, and of course, this has been out for a little while and it's been getting really good reviews. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. And first of all, we got a score sheet, always helpful, especially in set collection games like this. We've got a couple of these plastic rails. These are going to hold cards. So there are these cards you can acquire during the course of the game, hero cards, and these will basically just be where you'll place them before they are acquired. We have a whole bunch of cards to look at, but let's go ahead and take a look at our rule book first, as well as our punch board. So again, this is a set collection and bidding game where you'll be trying to collect these different types of dwarven characters from 3 different ends, and you'll do that by bidding with coins. Obviously, you're bidding blind bidding, so the coins will be face down, and you'll acquire one of certain number of dwarves from each tavern. There'll be a number of dwarves equal to the number of players. And those dwarves have several different types, and the types score a little bit differently, as well as giving you bonuses to certain things. So here's kind of our setup with our 3 taverns. Here's sort of an explanation of how the cards work. Again, there are several types. There are warriors, hunters, miners, blacksmiths, and explorers. There's also another type, heroes, which are those cards that you can acquire throughout the course of the game. Turn sequence is fairly straightforward. You'll be bidding on the 3 taverns. You'll start with a total of 5 coins. Everybody will have the same coins, and you'll be bidding on the 3 taverns blindly. And then you'll reveal bidding and then acquire cards from the tavern based on your highest bid. You never lose your coins as you bid on them. It's just a matter of priority, essentially, from the taverns. But you can upgrade your coins. And there's a coin that you start with that allows you to upgrade coins. You do that by combining the 2 coins that you have not used, and then you get their total value while discarding the highest cost coin. So again, in this example, they combined their coins by using this 0. They had a 3 and the 5 left over. That becomes an 8, but it requires them to discard their 5 coin. So you'll always end up with 5 coins. And then at the end of the first age, you'll have this section here where there's basically awards if you have the most of a particular type. And then you'll go on to a second age, which is just more card drafting until eventually final scoring. Here's just an explanation of all the hero cards. So again, those are the cards you can acquire throughout the course of the game. You do that by collecting a full set of heroes, so a full set of colors. So here you have to have 1 of each color, and then you can acquire 1 of the hero cards. Some of the hero cards have requirements to them. So I believe this blue one, you have to already have 5 blue cards in order to acquire her. But they give you special bonuses as well and are pretty strong. And then finally, just sort of some flavor text for the different heroes that you can acquire. They also have some advanced heroes that they suggest you don't start play with. So a little bit of variability there. And then just a glossary at the end explaining all the terms. And on the back, just a little cheat sheet of how the game works. So here is our punch board. Each player is going to get one of these boards here. These are the 3 taverns in the game. So whenever you're putting down your coins, you're going to put down one of your coins to that specific tavern, and that'll be your bid on that tavern. And then down here is where you're going to put your 2 remaining coins, basically the 2 that you didn't use that round. Everybody's going to start with these same value coins. So if we flip this over real quick, you'll see that these sort of red tinted ones at the bottom are the 5 coins you're going to start out with. You have a 5, 4, 3, 2, and then your 0. And again, your 0 is how you upgrade your coins throughout the course of the game. Whenever you upgrade your coins, you're going to get a gold one so that you know it's an upgraded one and not a starting coin. So you can see there's a couple of the gold ones here, but the gold ones go all the way up to, I think, 25. So you can really upgrade a lot throughout the course of the game, which is good because your coins also score you points at the end of the game. You score in a couple different ways. Obviously, the dwarves you draft will give you points, but also your coins will combine and give you points at the end of the game. So more punchboard, sort of more of the same, and just more of the upgraded coins. These little tokens are handed out randomly at the beginning of the game, and these are essentially tiebreakers. So if you ever tie with somebody, say you both play your 2 coin to the same tavern, then the person with the highest gem will have the tiebreaker and they'll get to choose first. And then afterwards, you actually swap gems. So if you had a tiebreaker with somebody who had the 5 gem, you then swap after the fact, and now you have the 5 gem, and more than likely you're going to win the tiebreaker next time. So again, more of the same and more coins. I do like the fact that these boards are double-sided. I mean, you're not really going to use the back side for anything. It doesn't really have a purpose, but it's a nice little touch, especially since it's a monochrome map. So I like that a lot. Again, more of this, more of the same here with just more of the coins, and then a sheet of the highest coins. So this is one of the rewards, as well as this gem here. At the end of the first age, you're going to hand out awards, and that's going to be based on who has the most of each type of dwarf. So if you have the most miners, which is the orange type, you're going to get this gem. And basically this is a 6 gem, it's the highest gem in the game, and you don't lose it. So if you have the most miners at the end of age 1, you are going to win all tiebreakers for the rest of the game, essentially. It also has +3 because it's also worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. And then this gem as well is you gain this if you have the most hunters, which is the green dwarves, and this replaces your 0 gem. So it gives you the same effect of upgrading your gems, but with just a slightly higher value. And this is also worth 3 additional points because, again, your coins are worth points at the end of the game. You have a few boards here. These are just to show which cards are to which tavern. So you play with a number of cards equal to the number of players. If you're playing with 2 players, you'd have 2 cards out. 5 players, you'd have 5 cards out. And again, this is just to designate which tavern you're bidding on. And then finally, we have some pieces here because you're going to build essentially a little market for the extra coins. And that's going to be a 3D piece that you will put together. So I won't punch it all out now, but I'll show you that at the end of the video, how that goes together. So again, just more of the pieces for the coin market. And then these are just little reminder tokens that tell you that if you had a tie to switch your gems. So the last thing we have are the cards themselves. So the cards are obviously a big part of the game. We already talked about them a little bit. It is set collection, so you are trying to get one of each color ultimately, and that will allow you to hire one of those heroes. Whenever you complete a full set, you get to hire a hero. Each card itself scores in a different way, and at the end of the game, you're going to be combining up the points from all of your cards to determine the winner, and you'll get extra points for certain things, but a lot of your points are going to come from your cards. So first we have blacksmith cards. Blacksmith cards don't have an inherent value. You don't see a number on the card itself, but they line up with your player board, and then your player board determines how many points you get from your blacksmiths. So if you have 1 blacksmith, that single blacksmith is worth 3 points. 2 blacksmiths, they're worth 7 points, all the way down here to where you have 12 blacksmiths and they're worth 102 points. The green cards work the same way. That's why there's a green level as well. The green cards are worth less points at the very beginning, but they ramp up to higher points at the end. So that's essentially the way that the purple cards and the green cards work. They don't have an inherent value. Their value is dependent on how many you have at the end of the game. The warriors, the red suite here, they do have a value, and it does range, so it does get higher than 3. So for those, at the end of the game, you'll total up the numbers on the cards themselves. You also see that it has this little icon here. If you have the most warriors at the end of the game, you also get to add your highest coin to your point total. So you get to double dip a bit. You get all of the points from your warriors, plus the points from your highest coin. And then keep in mind that you're also scoring the points from your coins in general. So essentially you score all your coins plus your highest coin a second time if you have the most warriors. The way that the oranges work, the oranges are very low scoring. I believe the highest is a 3, but they work in a cumulative effort. So the warriors are worth all of the points on their cards times the number of cards that you have. So let's say that at the end of the game, you have these 4 minor cards. Those are all the minors that you have. So they're worth 4 points, but you have 4 of them total, so you multiply those. So these 4 cards are worth 16 points or 4 points apiece. Obviously, that can get a lot higher as you gain more orange cards, and there's also orange heroes that give you multiple effects off of one card. So one card might be worth 3 minor cards on its own. So you can get a pretty high multiplier with minors. The scouts here, or the explorers, I should say, kind of have a higher point total to them, but that's all they do. All they do is score the points on them. They don't have any sort of special scoring effect to them. Instead of bidding for dwarves, you sometimes get these treasury cards. And these treasury cards, if you win them, allow you to upgrade one of your coins. So if you won this card, you could immediately upgrade your 2 to a 3, which is nice because you may get into a situation where you can upgrade your coins twice in a round and jump from maybe like a 4 coin to a 13 coin in one round. These are the awards that you get at the end of Age 1. So again, we already looked at some of these. If you have the most minor, you get that gem. That's always the highest. If you have the most hunters, you get to upgrade your 0 coin to a 3 coin and also keep that upgrade effect. Having the most blacksmiths gives you a card, this specific card, the Royal Blacksmith, who is worth 2 cards. Having the most warriors allows you to upgrade a coin 5 places or 5 value. And having the most explorers lets you look at the top 3 cards of Age 2 and keep one of them. So a little head start. This is just more of our blacksmiths, which will go into our second set here. So again, we talked about blacksmiths, we talked about the rangers and how their point total is based on your player board. More warriors here, more minors. These must be the Age, there they are, the Age 2 cards. And then finally we get to the hero. So the way that the heroes work, already mentioned before, but you have to have a full set of cards. So 1 of each color, 1 purple, 1 green, 1 red, 1 orange, and 1 blue. Whenever you do that, you can acquire any hero card that's available. And the hero cards will be on these little stands that I showed you earlier so that everybody at the table can easily see what's available and just pick whichever one they want. So these hero cards have a decent amount of variability, right? So this one, for instance, just gives you 2 purple. Whereas this one, if you were to choose it, it gives you 3 hunters. It counts, this 1 card counts as 3 hunters, but it also requires you to discard 2 cards from your tableau, from your already accumulated cards. The warriors are worth points and also give you more towards having that majority at the end, so you get to count your top coin. Here are the minor heroes. This one's worth 3 and 1 double effect, whereas this one's only worth 1 but has 3 double effects. So again, you're counting up all these and then multiplying them by your total value. So having 3 of these could be really helpful. This one's worth 7 points, but it makes every other blue card you have worth 2. And this one is worth 20 points, but you can only gain it when you have 5 or more blue cards at a time. Then you have sort of these untyped heroes. This one simply lets you add your highest value coin. So you could score your highest value coin 3 times, essentially. Once for her, once for having the most warriors, and then once because you score all your coins at the end of the game. These guys are really interesting. These are the brothers. There are 5 of them, and their point total is depending on how many brothers you have at the end of the game. If you only have 1, they're worth 13. You have all 5 of them, they're worth 135 collectively. And then we have some more back here. Some of these are the more advanced ones, which I'm not really familiar with. But for instance, this one just lets you upgrade a coin 7 value. And she's also worth 7 points. But that's it. That's everything you get in a copy of Nidavellir from Hatchet Board Games. I'm going to pause real quick and then put together this little 3D market for the coins just to show you what it looks like. All right, so here's our little coin market, fully assembled. Goes together really well. It's pretty sturdy. I think maybe I'd put a little glue on it, although I don't know if it would fit in the box fully assembled. But this is how you upgrade your coins. So again, if you use your 0 to upgrade your coins and say you had the 3 and the 2 left over, you'd get rid of the 3 and you'd replace it with a 5. And then of course you can use that 5 later on to upgrade as well. Which means you're not using possibly your highest value coin in the bidding section, but do keep in mind that these coins are worth points at the end of the game. Also, kind of interesting mechanic that I really like is that you can jump spaces if it's not available. So let's say that you upgrade your coin to a 12. So you're upgrading maybe a 9 and a 3, and you would get a 12. Well, if the 12s are gone, and let's say even the 13s are gone, instead of getting a 12, you get the next highest value, which would be a 14. So I think a lot of this game is strategically upgrading your coins, especially when you can get that little bit of extra value in them. And so again, that's everything from Nidavellir. Thank you for watching and have a good day.